Hi, I'm Jennifer, and this is Conversations with a Therapist podcast, where we discuss mental health among creatives. If this is a topic that you're curious about, then stick around for today's episode. Pratts.
Yeah.
Yes, please introduce yourself to us and tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so vile umesema tu naitwa Pratts, but my full name's Pratasic Ngadi. So since ni Pratasic Ngadi and it's tough for people to get all the names, you go with the one that you prefer. Ukipenda just shorten your Pratasic with Pratts. That's good. Ukipenda Ngadi, call me Mr. Ngadi. That's still a name.
Hey, Mr. Ngadi.
Yeah, Mr. Ngadi, the one and only. Yeah. So yeah, those are my name, and I'm a filmmaker. Filmmaker mostly. Under filmmaking, I do a lot of videography, and I'm just getting into photography a bit, but I do mostly videography, directing, and a bit of producing.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
That's me as an artist.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I know when I met you the very first time, I didn't know any of these things. So you came in as an intern for the company we were working with, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting guy. And then a few weeks later, I find out, oh, this guy is actually a filmmaker. He's a big deal. You need to respect. which was awesome. And it's been wonderful since the first time that I met you. I think that has been a wonderful experience knowing you. So karibu sana to our podcast.
Thank you.
We are very, very excited to have you here, and this is fantastic. So tell us a bit about it.
I saw what you did there. Pratasic, fantastic. I got it.
Yes. So tell us a bit about how you got into filmmaking. What are the beginnings of filmmaking as your career?
So how I got into filmmaking, let me just tie it to school.
Okay.
Because when I joined campus, I was not going to do anything as a performing artist. I was enrolled to a different course. But then when I go to school during the first week of orientation, there's usually that first week of orientation.
Yeah.
So during the orientation, you're being oriented on literally all the courses that are being done in the school, and you have these booklets. So when I was going through the booklets, I realized there was a whole department for performing arts, theater, and film, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is actually something, because back in high school, I've been part of the drama and the music club and everything. So I decided for myself, let me try this. Let me do this, because I love film. Yeah. And I've always had that curiosity on how films are being made and how does it get to the end product where it's on TV and people are watching and enjoying it. So I need to know this process, how is it done, and can I get myself there? Yeah. Although I got into that as wanting to be an actor. But now during that process, I got more behind on the technical stuff and everything, and acting just became as a supporting stuff to the whole filmmaking journey. Yes. But
I think it's also important for guys to know that you're also an actor, because you've also acted.
Yeah. So I have a lot of do they call them caps or capes? Yeah, I have a lot of them, because I'm now in my artistry. Yes. As I'm not a filmmaker, I act. I've done a bit of modeling. Yes. Both runway and TVCs. I used to be a singer, but I think I still do. I think I can still be a musician, because that's something that I used to do, especially now in campus. That's why I started. I got into training, music. I started to do a bit of piano lessons on that, but I'm rusty. I'm rusty.
But no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I mean, you are an all-round creative. You have all these things that you can do, and so you keep your options wide open.
Yeah, always. Actually, it has helped me through my my career now, especially now as a filmmaker, because now being a filmmaker, you have to know at least a bit of everything. Yes. Because if you only know how to direct, how about if there's a job that needs someone who can do lighting and you in need of something to do? So at least if you have a bit of everything, at least you understand sound, you understand lighting, you understand directing, you understand scripting, you can act in front of the screen, so if you miss actors and stuff like that. So I think it's good for, especially someone who aspires to be a filmmaker, to know a bit of everything, because it will help you in the long run.
Yeah, and I think also knowing a bit of everything makes it easier for you to know what you're looking for when you're creating a film.
True.
Because if you know what kind of light you are going for in this particular scene, you must know a bit about lighting and how it changes.
Exactly.
So that you know what impact it has on your film.
Exactly.
So I think what you're saying is very true, that you have to know a bit of everything so that you know what you really want.
Yeah.
So that you can make better films.
Better films, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really important. It's really important because now you have to know the mechanics behind lighting.
Yeah.
For example, sound.
Yes.
You get into a little bit of sound design. You can get also do designing. You can design your own posters and stuff.
Yeah.
So art. Also, since I'm also a musician, let me just narrow it down to a singer. I can also do maybe background vocals, soundtracks of my own films.
Yeah.
So it's good when you have all this together. And this is all tied to now back in campus.
Yes.
Because these are stuff that I learned through the 4 years on campus and through my lecturers. I had very nice lecturers who were really supportive. They would give you reference materials. Yeah. They'd guide you on how best to tackle the film, being a filmmaker in the long run. So it was just not like now you just, okay, you want to be an actor? Okay, now we'll take you to acting classes only. But now you have to get to know everything, the mechanics of filmmaking.
Yeah, yes. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm very curious about what your first course was. You said that really changed time orientation.
Yeah, so when I got to university, the university,
yes,
I was supposed to do sociology. I was getting into sociology and geography. So I decided to stick with geography and sociology. I decided, let me just do this. So at the end of the day, I still majored more on performing arts, which was not something that I was getting into campus to do. So performing arts was like my main major, and then geography was my second major.
Okay. And I know, first of all, was this course, the sociology with geography, was it a course you had chosen, or was it this thing where government sends you to a random school for some random
That's
course?
what happened, because high school, I got a B plus from high school.
Hey, congrats.
So thank you. So I was aiming to get something like to do the pharmacy and stuff, but I wanted to come to University of Nairobi. Like that was the main goal. Like throughout my high school, I was like, I'm going to the University of Nairobi.
Doesn't matter what
I'm
going
to do there.
It
doesn't matter.
It is where I'm going.
As long as I'm not going to do teaching. That was the only. I'm not going to do education. That was the only. that was the only line.
Yeah.
So so when I had my marks back, and then now during that time of dealing with KCPAs, it was also the first time KCPAs was doing this because initially it was JAB.
Yes, it
and
was
then
JAB.
Now KCPAs, they were that trial phase. So we were within that trial phase, and there was a lot of stuff that were happening, or there was some lagging behind and stuff. So when now you're getting your calling letter, you had to do a second revision, or this university, blah 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 blah. So at the end of the day, I fell under sociology, and I was like, okay, at least I'm going to the UN. Yeah, that was the main thing. So
the main thing has been achieved.
Exactly, it has been achieved, and then now it led me to this different career path that initially was not what I anticipated to get into. How did what did your parents want for you at that time? Did they want you to do because parents sometimes have one thing in mind, and then you have another thing in mind. You get to campus and find another thing. So tell me that dynamic. So that dynamic. So my father is an electrical engineer, mechanic. He's also an all-rounded person when it comes to now the mechanics, electrical engineering, automotive, and stuff. So for him, he wanted me to follow his path, being the firstborn. So he felt like now if he is leaving the mantle to someone, I'd be the best person suited for that. But now we started having a conflict way back in high school because I'm not a physics person, physics as a subject. So in Form 1, I decided to drop physics.
Oh my gosh.
And that was a letdown to him. So I was like, now if you're not doing physics, how are you going to end up to my career path? Then I told him, no, at the end of I don't want to go that way. I feel like I'd try and pursue a course. Maybe I'd try being a doctor, a neurosurgeon, stuff like that. So I don't think like me doing physics would really help me in the long run.
Yeah.
And he understood. So he told me, okay, now you go, work hard. If you get to achieve what you want to do, well and good. So that was that. And my mom was like, the only thing I want for you is to be successful.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, just make sure you do it and just work hard towards your goal. So now when you get to campus, now after all that, now we get to campus, and then I tell them, okay, I'm in campus, and I feel like I want to major more into performing arts. And then my dad was like, performing arts? What is performing arts? Yeah, what is that? Is that even a course? Really?
What is that?
Siku hizi wanafundisha vitu kama hizo campus. So I was like, there's there's all department for performing arts, theater and film. And since they also know that I was part of the drama club in high school and music, then the only thing my dad told me that, okay, you go ahead, I will support you.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I will
that was an easy change of mind from his part.
It was an easy change of mind. I was also surprised. I thought that you'd be like, no, I'm done paying school fees and everything. I have to do what I want you to do, but I can use my connections to do this and this. But he was like, okay, this is what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. If you can be good at it, go ahead and do it.
That is quite rare.
Yeah,
that is quite rare, especially with our Kenyan parents.
I find myself lucky because most people say like, "Oh, filmmaking it's a lazy job," or "This is not a job." Yeah, you'll end up hustling. You won't find jobs and everything. But then we are in a different era.
We're in a different era.
Yeah, and it's we're getting into more digitalized world.
Yeah.
So filmmaking is also in that digital space. So you just have to find your niche.
Yeah.
And then you evolve.
Oh wow, that is quite a story, and I'm so happy for you that your dad did not become the typical African parent. That he was quite willing to change his mind, because I don't see how else that would have turned out to be.
I feel like I was lucky in that aspect. I was really lucky that he understood.
That's quite a big deal. You said that you started all these performing thingies back in high school.
Yeah.
How and when did you land into those things?
I can remember my very first performance was I did a poetry. It was a Swahili poem. Remember in primary school, we used to have this, was it Swahili Sanifam or was it Mufti? I'm not sure. There was this...
Swahili Mufti?
I think it was Swahili Mufti. So this was back in class 6. So from class 6, you start getting the bit of poems in there. So then there was this one poem that really interested me, and I decided to cram it. So, you know, there used to be closing days.
Yes.
Now we have parents, and then they announce the tops and everything. So I requested one of my class teachers if I could perform the poem. Yeah. And I did perform the poem, and everyone liked it. Like everyone clapped, and I was like, okay, so this is interesting. Okay, I can actually perform a poem, and then you guys will clap for me. Then I was like, okay, now I want to do more of this. So since then I did that, but then I ended up transferring from that school. And when the next school that I went to, there was nothing art. So there's totally nothing art. So so I ended up trying out football for a while until now I got to high school now. So when I got to high school, there was music. I found music club, journalism club and stuff. But then I was interested in music. So I did music. The music club would go performances and stuff. Also that was a learning process, because now you have to know how music is written now. You get to know everything about music. And then I transferred from that high school, and the next high school that I went to, they had a booming drama club.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, this was God sent.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. So when I went there now, I went into now drama. Yeah. The drama itself. So you have choral verses, we have plays, we have everything you can call drama. Yeah. Yeah. And then now we also had the solo verses. So you'd have a solo verse, present, go all the way to the provincials. Yeah. For some reason, our principal never allowed us to go to nationals. I don't know. There's this one time we had qualified to go to the nationals. And I remember that the nationals were here at Meru. Yeah. So all the way from Homa Bay, because we are in Homa Bay.
Oh, you guys are from the Bay Area.
Exactly, from the Bay Area. From the Bay Area. So our principal, for some reason, he was like, oh, the school doesn't have funds, because it was also It was after people had closed. I think it was second term. So we had closed. We were supposed to be on for a month. So we are coming for the nationals for 2 weeks, and then rest for 2 weeks, and then go back to school. Then I was like, no, we cannot do this. I cannot release the bus and stuff. So during high school, I never got that chance to go to the nationals. Yeah. But now when I got into campus and got into performing arts, we enjoyed nationals.
It was everything.
And then it's University of Nairobi.
Yes, it's the university.
Yeah, it's the University
of Nairobi.
Yeah. So that's literally how my journey in art started. Just started by that one poem in class. I can never forget it. Yeah.
My curiosity goes to that poem. It takes a lot of courage to do something like that.
Yeah.
So where is this courage coming from when you're in class 6?
The courage comes from I grew up with my grandma most of my childhood.
Yeah.
And my grandma is still to date. She is a church leader.
Oh wow!
She's the leader in the church. So most of the time when because I was like the only grandson back then. The grandmas and their grandchildren.
Yeah.
So we also had this. We still have this bond, a very strong bond. Actually, most of the time I feel like she's like my second mom now. Yeah, because she typically raised me.
Yeah.
So now during church services, she would always have me at the altar and lead worship. So there are these specific songs that we'd learn in the house, and we'd sing mostly at night before prayers. We sing the song. Then at the church, she tells the congregation, "Oh, my grandson also has this song that he really loves. Kuja, come and present to the congregation."
Yeah.
So I think that did build my courage. So it was easy for me to stand in front of people and perform.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had that kind of upbringing. So till I was age 6, 7, and I became a known figure because my grandma was like the church elder.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a logical transition. Makes sense. Did you have any other people in your family who are creatives? Are there people in your family who are creatives, or was it just you? What is the story there?
Creatives in the family. The creative, like in the whole family, I'd take it my grandma, because my grandma was back then she was teaching arts and crafts.
Yeah.
So she used to teach a certain college around arts and craft, tailoring.
Yeah.
I think it's that tailoring.
Yeah.
There's baking and stuff. So she was more of that kind of all-rounded. And then she also had a tailoring shop. Is it tailoring shop? Something like that. So she used to do this kind of sequisive fashion of design, kind of take a shirt, transform it to a dress, style and stuff like that. So I think my grandma is mainly the main artist that we have in the family. My mom didn't go that way at all. She wanted to be a policewoman at some point.
Yeah.
So she never went the art way. The only person that I think is going to follow the art side is our third born, my sister, because she has considered, she sat for her Form 4 last year, and she wants to be a fashion designer.
Oh, nice!
Like that's the end. Yeah, fashion designer. No matter what. Fashion designer. Yeah. So I think when it comes to being to artistry, I still title grandma. She's been like the art figure in the family.
Okay. So for you feel like your creativity and your creative pursuit was more of a... Do you think it was more of a deliberate thing that you started doing, or was it something that you stumbled upon, like creativity as a thing, this performing and all this?
I think it's either it's something I stumbled upon or it's something that had to come out of me.
Eventually
had to come out of me. Like there's no way I would have repressed it.
Yeah, because also I think now with everything you've said, your background really supported that kind of environment. It was a very supportive environment for you to become a creative person. True. Because you had people who are creative around you. So you also...
the influence.
Yeah.
And then also from the extended family now, I have a cousin who also was an actor at some point. Yeah, so I think this also led to all this.
Yeah. When and how did you stumble upon mental health as a concept?
Mental health as a concept?
Yeah.
I think this was just in campus. It was in campus, yeah. This was in campus. And I think this was... after, I think it was the second year.
Yeah.
Second year, third year. That was after. Now this is tied to relationship stuff. So this was after first breakup.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
First breakup, and then that period
Yeah.
and stuff. So then you get into this mode where you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
Like there's no creativity. You don't feel like doing anything. Sometimes you don't feel like waking up or anything. So I was like, oh, what's this? What's happening?
Yeah, what's happening to me?
Because it's something new. I've never experienced this before.
You didn't think huyu aliniroga?
You didn't go that way because at the end of the day, it was a mutual breakup.
Yeah.
So it was like, this can't work, this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into that mode where even classes, you're like, you must need that, okay? Like you don't get that.
Yeah.
You don't have that motivation at all. So now I went like online now watching these YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And now you're getting to know that, okay, so there's this thing, mental health.
Yeah.
And now this mental health has a lot of branches.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're struggling mentally. But then if you say that you have mental health, in Kenya or in Africa, someone would think that unaruka, unafaa kwenda madhare. Exactly, unafaa kwenda madhare. So
yes, that is the first thing they think of.
Yeah, but mental health was like heavy. It's
Yeah.
like a heavy thing. So embracing it also becomes a challenge. But see where we are going, people are becoming more open and embracing the mental health issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you struggle most with?
I think it's just depression.
Mm-hmm.
That depression where you want to, you cut yourself out of the world.
Yeah.
Because personally, I'm not a very outgoing person.
I beg to differ. Pratts, you're the most outgoing person I know.
Not
But this is an act. Unatuatia. Because when you actor. Do you see what I did there?
Actually, because when you actor,
Yeah.
Not really. I think me being an outgoing person is because I have to be in most art spaces.
No, I get it. It's this thing I call the loud introverts because that is exactly what I am. I'm a loud introvert.
Yeah, I like my space. I love my space. And if I can be by myself for a whole week, I won't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah.
So I think like that was becoming too much now. It was becoming too much. Even when I would go to school, I'd go to class and go back home. Go to school, go back. And then I used to stay with my uncle back then. Mm-hmm. So most of the time just in my room. We cook, we eat, back to my room. So I felt like it was becoming an issue, the depression stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think the most thing that I struggled with during that period was depression. Yeah.
And is it something that has been on and off, or is it something that happened that time and completely resolved now and you are living completely free, you never get depressed anymore? What is the situation like?
I feel like it's an on and off thing. It's something that has seasons.
Oh, really?
I think, because sometimes you just have these triggers. You just have, like, something just takes you. You don't know how you go back there, but you just find yourself there. Because you'd find sometimes, sometimes you just want to stay in bed the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you assume that, nimechoka.
Yeah.
But it's just not fatigue, it's just you, where your mental state at that moment does not encourage you to have the motivation to do a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it's something that it's mostly on and off, and it happens when you're stressed.
When you're stressed.
Yeah, when I'm most stressed.
Yeah.
Like now, when you start thinking, I was looking forward to this, and then it's not happening.
Yeah.
Or I wanted this, but then I did not get it.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of stress most of the time triggers it. Mm-hmm. And then you just go back to that moment where you just want to be alone, you just want to cut the world out, and like you don't want to do anything. Yeah.
When you first went through this depressive state, what are the main things that you can identify were really affected in your life? How was your life altered during that time?
My life was more that time I think my social, how do I call it? My social life was really affected because now when I want to be alone most of the time, you don't get to converse with friends as much because you also you don't have that motivation to even go hang out with friends or do anything. So I think mostly was my social life and also education. Now when it comes to school, because that semester is a semester where I have the lowest
I'm guessing now then you weren't very vocal about your struggle at that time. You kept a lot of it hidden. How did that turn out? Because eventually somebody has to talk. So how did that become a thing? How did you eventually deal with it?
Because I don't know, but myself, I'm the kind of person who likes to deal with stuff by
yourself. I've heard that one.
I'd like to deal with stuff myself. Like I'd be struggling, or I'd be going through some mental issues, but actually no. Unless I open up and tell you. So I had a friend who at some point I had to open up to, because now in campus during that time I'm also the chairperson of the theater group. There's a lot of responsibilities. Okay, I'm going through this, but theater wants itasimama juu because you're going through something.
The show goes on.
It goes on no matter what. You also have to go get your lines. That play is waiting for you. There's a lot that was happening, and at some point there's this day after a show, we had planned a show. The show went well, everything was okay, but then you feel like you just have a heavy heart, just a heavy heart. And then this friend of mine comes, now we are backstage, and she asks me like, Pratts, are you really okay? And then normally I just say, I'm okay. Niko poa, hakuna shida. And then she asked me like, are you really, really, really okay? Because you really look like you're a very strong person, and you look like someone who has everything held together. Like you never even show emotion like, oh, you're going through anything. Like totally, you usually look okay all the time. And this is not normal for a person. Like you're a human.
You're a human being.
I don't know where. Like at that point, I just broke down.
Of course,
I don't know. I just broke down, and it just hugged there for minutes. There, just I needed that outlet, and then we sat, and I talked to her about everything, and she encouraged me. She also shared a bit of what she was going through and stuff. So we became like each other's.
Support?
Support. We even had like a WhatsApp group, just the two of us. We'd send quotes in the morning, night. We don't need really enough to talk the whole day. At least send a quote. We call it hope.
You know somebody's there for you.
You know somebody's there. So if at some point you feel like you're struggling and you need an outlet, just go and post it the WhatsApp group. When she'll find it, when she also does the same. So I think it made it easier to go through the whole thing, and also knowing that you're not alone.
Did you ever speak to your parents or your family members about any of your struggles at the time?
Not up to date. Because the problem is I get to go home maybe twice in a year. And when I go home, it's... they're happy to see me. I'm there. I'm happy to see them. I've missed them. So you'll be there 1 week. You just want to enjoy this company. And the week has ended. You're going back to Nairobi. So I think we've never had that chance to sit down and ask, are you okay? Is this and this happening? So we've never had that conversation with my mom. Even on calls, it's just like, are you doing okay? Nairobi blah blah blah. Do you have something to eat? Have you eaten? Just that. But now when it comes to mental issues, no family. And then I also feel like to some point I don't know if it's me not being ready to open up that much. I don't know. I think it's just me not being ready to open up that much. Maybe when I will find an avenue to do that, then probably I'll do that.
Are you guys close with your parents? Are you close to your parents?
I'm very close with my mom and my grandma.
Yes.
Mostly. Those are my two people. My two mothers. Mostly my mom and my grandma. But if I'm to open up, this person I would open up to easily would be my grandma. I think because she literally raised me, so it would be easy for me to talk to her and then talk to my mom.
Did you in your family, did you guys ever I don't know if you're aware that whether you guys ever had any mental health issues with other family members. Is there a history of mental health in your family? Something you've seen or heard?
Maybe with my mom, because my mom from now her family, she's an only child. My mom is an only child, and my granddad is a polygamous. She has 2 wives, and there was that point of how do you call it? Domestic violence that made her want to leave. Yeah. Actually, she once told me that's the reason why she left home to get married. Like, she ran away from that. So I think that probably did affect her in some way, but not really like mental. Not like serious mental illnesses. Yeah, but I think it still affects her today, though. Yeah. Seeing that domestic violence in the family. Yeah, exactly. Because again, it's tied to childhood trauma. True. Yeah, childhood trauma is a problem. Yeah. True. Yeah. So I think maybe that. Yeah. Oh, that's quite an interesting way to put it. Yeah. What relationship do you have with medication, self-medication, or even prescribed medication when it comes to mental health? Did you seek any mental? Not really. Not really. I've never had of any. I've never taken any, or even like now go to a therapist and stuff. No, it's not. It's something that I've thought of, but I've never. I've never reached that point. You've never reached that point. And we thank God. Because mental illness is not a joke. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to get to that place. What do you think are your creative pursuit, your art? What does it do for you when it comes to mental health? My art is like my main distraction. Oh, okay. So for you, it's a distraction. Yeah, for me, my art is even a saving grace. Exactly, it is my saving grace. Like you'll find most of the time when I'm at my lowest, I usually try and find strength, mostly in my art. Yeah. When I'm at my lowest, those are the times that I'm. I don't know. It makes me want to focus more on the art, because when I remember that during that period when I was going through all that, I used to just find time and just go do my rehearsals, do my vocal training, keyboard. Those are the time that I did write most of my spoken word, try and find time and rehearse them. So just being alone also kind of gave me time to focus more on this art. And I think it's a habit that I have carried with me to date. So anytime I'm going through anything, I'll run back to my art and try and find something. It's either I'd write a script there, or I'd go for some vocal training, just do something. Artistic. Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. Having something that can hold you together is important. Yeah, true. It is. Yeah, and I'm glad for you that it's a healthy thing, which is your art. Thank you. In other places, people will go for other things. People will go for substances. People will go for this thing or the other. Yeah. So, luckily, it's art for you, but also maybe knowing that sometimes you can live an escapist life. We can escape to our art to avoid things. So you also need to know how to draw the line. How to handle it. How to draw the line of when do I have to actually sit down and deal with an issue, and when do I use my art as a way to save myself. And that's always my greatest fear, dealing with issues. Yeah. Oh, it's like now you want to face this issue head on. I'll just find a way around it. Avoidance. Exactly. Avoidance. You need to handle that. Pratts, you need to handle that. Dealing with issues is a challenge. I think it's something that I have to learn how to deal with certain stuff. Yeah, because I always find. And then now, one thing that I've noticed that now if I keep doing that, they pile up. Yeah, of course. And the more they pile up, it reaches a point where now you cannot hold it anymore. Yes. And then now I don't know, because of late I'm finding myself being a bit aggressive. Is it aggressive or abrasive? I don't know. Which one is it? Which one are you? Ikukasirika. Oh, okay. Just find yourself getting angry. Irritable. Exactly. You get irritated by very little things. Yeah. So I think it's kind of building into that. And I don't want to go that way when you want to start being too rough on stuff that are very minimal.
Awareness is the first key to knowing it. So as long as you're aware, that is important, because now when you're aware, you can start to address. So my invitation would be start addressing before it explodes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, start addressing before it explodes. When it comes now, right now, you've said now that depression for you is an on and off thing. And I don't know, are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah.
How do you handle mental health when you're in a relationship? How do you have that conversation? Is it something you tell people in advance that, I am prone to depression, ukijua, before you come into my life? Or is it something that is hidden, and then one day they wake up and they're like, what is wrong? I am depressed. Or how do you handle that entire conversation? Because that sounds like a heavy conversation.
It is.
Considering how mental health is seen in our country,
in
with the people we live in.
So for me, the point where I got to at least open up a bit is now when you're comfortable with someone, and you know how they'll handle certain stuff. You know this person, you know that, okay, these are the kind of issues that they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because also being a man in the relationship, you have to still, be the guy.
There's an expectation.
Exactly. You don't have
to be.
Yeah, that being too... You also sometimes don't need to really open up as much. But then when you're going through something, you just let them know, this and this has happened and I'm not feeling this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then I'm lucky to have a good person also, because they'd ask you like, now, then how can I help you?
Yeah, they're supportive.
They're very supportive. So how can I help you then? I tell them, okay, maybe... can you come over?
Yes.
Or I just want to be alone.
Yeah.
So they understand that when I'm in that state, either I need space or I need them to be around.
And for them, what has been your experience? Have you been in a relationship with somebody who has had a struggle with mental health before, or has this been not your experience?
Because this is actually now my second relationship.
After that one.
Because after that one, I said I'm not going to. And then you find yourself to another.
Of course.
Like, okay. So how did I end up?
Yeah.
So.
So for you, this is still pretty.
Yeah, this is pretty new.
Yeah.
So I will not say that I've had, because even for her now, she's also very open. If she's going through something, she'd let me know that, okay, this and this is happening, especially now at home. It's affecting her in this way.
Yeah.
So also I understand and be supportive to her. I think that's what has made it easier for us to open up to each other and tell each other that this and this is happening.
Yeah. Which is quite important.
Yeah.
That's really dope. How do you deal with stuff right now in the current present moment? How do you deal with stuff like failure, fear, success, pressure, everything? How do you handle these things?
How I handle these things? Lots of sleep.
Even Adam slept in good company.
True. Because sometimes because there's a lot of things, like at the present moment, there's a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Because now it's a new job, just a few months in, and you're still getting into the grasp of the environment, the people, and everything. You personally also at home, like there's so much happening with all the pressures. So my main thing that I usually do, because even right now, the main thing that I do is probably just listen to a lot of music and sleep. One thing I learned, because I think it was early this year, I had when I came from home and I came back, I was hit with you thought that you are sick, but you're not sick. It's like this malaria-ish. The malaria hits you, you're weak. High temperatures and stuff. And I went to the hospital and there was nothing. Literally, I was okay. There was no bacterial infection and everything. Then the doc asked me like, what have you been doing? How have you been doing stuff and stuff? This and this and this. And then I explained to him everything. Then the only thing he told me that you should find time to rest. Find time to rest. Make sure that you have a bedtime and stay true to that bedtime. So if it's 11, always make sure at 11 you're off. So I've been trying to do that. So I've learned to love my sleep, because I was the kind of person who would be up the whole night and still up the whole day. And then it started to build into becoming this unhealthy sleeping pattern. So I think sleep has been some sort of therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and it's working.
It's
That's
working.
the beauty of it, that it's working.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think, in your opinion, is the biggest problem in the creative industry right now in Kenya that is making creatives struggle with their mental health?
Financing.
The struggling. The starving artist.
Yeah, the starving artist.
People are taking it literally.
Exactly, because for you to make a film, you need funds, unless you've mastered the art of having zero budget films, which most of the time doesn't work. Yeah, if you want a good production that will move, you'll need financing at some point.
Yeah.
You can go zero budget throughout the pre-production and the production, but now when you're doing your posts, you'll start to invest because you need to also market it and everything.
Yeah.
So the one thing that's really stressing people out here is now financing.
Yeah.
And when you cannot finance your film, you have your script, just shelve it there.
Yeah.
But then this is something that you're passionate about doing. So you find people struggling to have their films out there, and also with the government, the taxing and everything, the levies. Because like right now, if you need to shoot a film, I think 15 minutes film, that's a short film, literally, you pay like 5,000.
Yeah.
For
most
you to
people do
shoot
not even have that money.
Yeah, you do not have that money at hand.
Yeah.
For you to shoot, like now, that's like the minimum that you pay, 5,000 to shoot now anywhere around. And that's 5,000, and then you still need to order 1,000 for the police to be around. There's a lot of bureaucracy that makes filmmaking becomes hard.
Yeah.
And it's making most people are tending now to give up on filmmaking and do other stuff.
Yeah.
At least something that will give them money, because at the end of the day you want to make money. And you want to make it, you want to make money, and you want to make it consistently. So if film is not giving you that, you'll shelve it, do this, and then if you find an avenue to explore film again, then you will later.
Yeah. And I think also, because if now you don't have the money, it means you might have to do other things that bring you money so that you can afford to finance the filming. And so that means that you're constantly tired, you're constantly stressed, you're running around doing a million things.
And then especially if now you get into a 9-to-5 one,
it becomes even more chaotic.
Yeah, it's becoming even tough. It's tougher.
Yeah.
So that's something that I know most creatives, specifically from my circle of friends and filmmakers, that's the main thing that's really making people struggle.
Somebody right now is listening to you and they're thinking, I am a creative in Kenya, and I want to become better, grow in my crafts, and all these things. I want to develop and become really good at my work. What piece of advice would you give them for them to get to become good at their craft, at their creativity, not just filmmaking, but whatever creative pursuit they have?
There's always just one thing I tell most people. Consistency. Be consistent with your art. In whatever you do, just make sure you're consistent. Because if you're consistent, then you will eventually grow. Because if you consistently do something, if you write scripts consistently, then you learn how to be a better scriptwriter. If you direct consistently, you'll become a better director. So it's usually about consistency, and this is something that I think I've become the master of consistency.
Mr. Ngadi, the master of consistency.
I've done my best to be consistent. Consistency.
That's the name.
Because if you be consistent, like itafikisha pesa hata uwezi jua ulifika aje. You never know you got that place just because you've been consistent, and consistency shows from your art. Because you shot this film the first time, you made these mistakes. The next time you're doing it, you're going to correct these mistakes. If you made this film and stopped, you're not going to grow. So you have to be consistent in making film. It doesn't matter if you're going to go negative, zero budget or whatever, just trying to make something.
Yeah.
So consistency for me
No
is
shortcuts.
the key. There are no there are no shortcuts.
And the reason,
connections.
Because the reason I'm saying that is because it's something that I've noticed with our generation. Let me call it our generation. There's this desire for instant gratification for everything. People want things that happen very fast. It's called microwaving success. You want to microwave your success and get everything very fast because you don't want to wait. You don't want to work for it.
Now that's really hard.
Yeah.
That's next to impossible.
That's next to impossible.
Yeah, that's next to impossible because at the end of the day, you have to work. You really have to work and put yourself out there. You have to put it, especially in the creative industry. You really have to put yourself out there. You have to go for auditions.
Yeah.
You'll go to even 100 of them, and the 101 is the one that will be picked. And the one that will be picked, and the one that probably will be the start of a new journey for you in the creative art. So it still ties down also to consistency. So you just have to always just be true to your art. Don't give up at the end of the day. But you don't expect that, today I've created a film, next day I'm going to be an Hollywood.
I'm going to be viral. And
it's not going to happen.
It's okay, kila mahali, Netflix will call me tomorrow.
It doesn't happen.
That's not how it works.
Even if you learn from the current creatives who are in the industry, you learn from their story. They started from somewhere, and before they go to where they are, they went through a lot. They went through a lot. So it just doesn't happen overnight.
That's very true. Very true. This has been fun. This has been a wonderful conversation. I really appreciated hearing you talk about your creativity, you talking about filmmaking, and you telling us the story of your mental health journey. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Where can people find you? Plug yourself.
Okay. So the one and only Pratasic can be found anywhere. Pratts 254.
Pratts 254.
Pratts 254 on Instagram. Pratts_254.
You
can find me on Facebook. Pratasic Pratts. I know people don't use Facebook anymore, but some people like us, we need to still tie ourselves to Facebook. So Pratasic Pratts on Facebook, and my professional account. You'll find me at Pratts Studios.
Pratts Studios.
Okay,
that's great. And that's where people will also find your films, right?
That's where you'll find all the other content that I've worked on previously and what I'm working on at the moment. Okay, that's fantastic. Yes.
So thank you very much, Pratts, for sitting down with me today. I've really appreciated your time and your story and being open, being the first guest on the podcast. Very much appreciated.
You're most welcome.
And I look forward to doing this with you another time, maybe.
True.
Once you see how this all goes. I really, really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for speaking to me today.
And thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be part of this.
Fantastic.